and a half or so. And it starts in 3, zoom in there, 2, 1.
Hi, my name's Mike, and if you're sitting there watching this tape smoking your cigarette, well, hit the fast forward button, because I don't smoke and I don't like people who do smoke.
And yet, Anish violate that.
The Morning Stream with Scott and Brian and a caveman.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the TMS show. That's the Morning Stream for Tuesday, February 25th, 2020.
The Morning Stream Show.
The Morning Stream Show. TMSS, right?
TTMS. Oh, TTMSS.
TTMM. Oh, yeah. The
TTMSS. The Morning Stream Show. TTMSS. The Morning Stream Show.
Oh, I'm glad we don't do that. It's terrible. It's a bad idea. I'm glad we didn't do it.
Oh, yes, exactly.
It's a terrible idea. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're a month away from seeing a bunch of your faces in Vegas, pretty much. About a month. Mm-hmm. In fact, almost exactly a month, right?
Almost exactly a month. Yeah, tomorrow will be the 1 month countdown till I set foot on the soil that is the Meadows.
Will you do like you always do when you get off the plane in McCarran Airport or whatever? You get out and you go just kiss the ground each time? Is that the thing you do?
I kiss the nearest Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Oh,
I don't know about
right.
the ground. The ground is gross, Scott. I'm not going to kiss the ground.
Yeah, no wonder.
That's foul.
Yeah, if anyone's going to get the coronavirus, it's Brian. He's going to anyway, boy, the rate that thing's spreading. Here's what I hope doesn't happen. I hope what doesn't happen is like in 15 days or so, the CDC gets out there and goes, all right, we're issuing warnings for the following cities. Avoid them because that's where all these congregating Asians go, and and one of them's in Vegas. Don't go to Vegas. Don't go to any of the Disneylands, and stay away from New York. Like I'm worried. I don't want it to happen because I want it to go off without a hitch. I don't want no coronavirus. I just want Corona. That's it. I don't want Corona, so I don't drink. But the rest of you all...
What? Hold the phone. I think Scott just confessed. Methinks he doth protest too much.
Okay, I've admitted I've got a 6-pack of Corona in the fridge. It's just waiting for me. Not true.
With a
Not
bunch
true.
of limes to jam down at their necks.
Anyway, it's out there. Don't breathe. Okay.
All right. Well, let's see. Let me ask you this. More afraid of coronavirus in Vegas or coronavirus in Salt Lake City?
Well, it depends on where I'm at, right? Like if it's
Let's say right now, headline.
Oh, then here, but also a little bit Vegas because a lot of Utahns, since we're only 4 hours away, people go to Vegas all the time here. Mm-hmm. So I would think that if it hit Vegas, it would be close enough that we would start getting it.
Yeah,
in big numbers.
Probably
like
same with Denver too.
Yeah, Denver would have a similar problem. Pretty much the Intermountain West would have a big surge if Vegas got hit with a big swath of it.
I hope it doesn't happen in Vegas because all of our friends will be there in a month. And I don't want any of our friends to get sick.
I don't want anyone to get sick or die.
That's right. Jeez.
I really don't.
Really
I don't want
morbid turn.
I don't want them to die. I want them all to live on. Okay, we gotta. I want to.
You know what happened?
Yeah.
Like last year, 2 weeks before I went to Vegas for my 50th birthday party, there was the grasshopper apocalypse, which turned out to be we didn't see a single grasshopper the whole time we were there, except a cold drink served with creme de menthe and and whatever other alcohols are in a grasshopper.
Wasn't that just last? That was just last year.
That was
right?
just last year. Yeah, that was.
That's right, because it was your birthday, of course. But also, it feels like that grasshopper thing was years ago. I guess not though.
It
just
does.
Last year.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, maybe this will happen this way. Brian, the day before Brian goes, it'll be just like pandemic in Nevada, and then the day he goes, it'll all be gone. There won't be a single virus there.
There we go. Wow. It'll
What do you think of that?
It'll be like a little lead up and then just poof, disappear
See?
the day that I arrive.
I'm telling you, I know how to predict these things.
I'd like it to poof a few days before I arrive because, again, some more of our listeners are going to be there a couple days before we get there.
Okay, so we'll do it a week instead of a day.
There we go. There we go.
All right? Got it. All right. Anyway, hey, I got a quick shout out for no reason other than I just like him a lot, and I just want to say howdy to our good friend Liam O'Brien, listening to the show. He checks us out all the time. If you don't know who Liam is, you're crazy, because if you're at all connected to the nerd world, you know that he is one of the Mighty Nine, or not the Mighty Nine. What do they call themselves? The Mighty, not the Mighty Nine.
Chicago 7?
No, what do they call them? Chat room, help me.
The Magnificent 7.
No, is it the
Hateful Eight?
It's the Mighty Nine. Yeah, but they spell it like German, like nine, like no, nine, like that. But over there at Critical Role and all that. Anyway, Liam and I have been pals forever. It feels like he was a listener way back in the App Slappy days, and he listens to TMS every day, and I just really like Liam and thought I'd just bring his name up because, and this is not me name dropping, I just really like Liam. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and I may end up I may have to poke my nose into LA sometime in June if that ends up happening. I'm hoping to see him. He's I
might be poking my nose into LA around June as well, like near the end of June.
I wonder if maybe we're poking our nose into the same poking.
Well, I'm sure it's likely, just hopefully not poking our noses in at exactly the same moment.
Yeah, that'd be gross. Nobody wants that.
You will line up, and we can each take a turn poking our noses in.
That's how I look at it. All right, well, June's looking more interesting by the moment. Very excited. Anyway, Liam, you're just the man, and I just wanted you to know that. All right, moving on. We went to a place yesterday. It was an Australian-themed restaurant yesterday.
Okay, all right.
Not Outback Steakhouse, okay, because that's...
that is the go-to Australian-themed restaurant.
It sure is.
It's not a steak. This is a steak.
I like that the knife thing just gets used across all
Absolutely.
things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Anyway, so we go to this place. It's called Wallabies. I don't know how authentic anything is, but the food's really good. I like it.
Oh, here's a factor how you can tell how authentic your Australian-themed restaurant is. Are the men's and women's bathrooms labeled blokes and Sheilas?
Yes, they are. And that, therefore, it's not very authentic, is what we learned. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's probably. I'm sure they serve. Do they serve meat pies?
They serve. Oh, that I don't know. I didn't actually check that. So I always get. They have these like 3 meat plates with like traditional beef tip, steak tip things, and some kind of turkey unit deal, and I don't know what all. It's probably, honestly, it feels like you could slap any name on here and get rid of the logo, which has a big Australian map on it, and just call it anything. It's not really, there's nothing about it where you're like, you got to try some of this Australian food down. It's not like that. It's just like, hey, are you in the mood for beef? Guess what? They got beef.
They have beef.
Yeah.
They have kangaroo. I'm looking at Wallabies Smokehouse.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull up the menu. Boy, their website is slow.
Oh, is it? Well, it's like their service. Just kidding. They were fine. I shouldn't say that. Let's see. I haven't looked so deep into the menu. I always end up going for the first thing that jumps out
restaurants like
at me.
that where I know, when we go here, I know exactly what I want.
Right.
There's certain restaurants that it's like, I don't even need to look at the menu. If I go to Benny's Mexican Restaurante in downtown Denver, by golly, I'm getting the combination G because that's my jam.
Yeah, I do the same thing at this place called Zao. It's like fusion Asian and like Korean food, plus fused with like I don't know what else. It's supposed to be fusion. Anyway, it's fantastic, and they make these three taco things with steak in them, with like Korean cabbage stuff on it, and this weird sauce I don't know what to call. And it's so good. Everything on the menu's good. They have rice bowls and some kind of like wasabi noodle thing and banh mi sandwiches and all this stuff's amazing. But I know what I want when I go there. And it's those 3 damn tacos. Give them to me now. Give them to me. They also have Coke Zero.
I got to tell you, I'm looking at the wallabysmokehouse.com website.
Yeah.
As a graphic designer, I am massively offended by the kerning.
I am as well. This is bad.
It's very are you looking
bad.
at it right now?
Yeah,
like
it's
you look at that menu and it's like ok house platters.
It's bad.
Instead of smokehouse platters is like broken down to 5 words.
I mean, Brian and I both studied a little typography in school. We know this stuff. We know how bad that is. What were they thinking? What's going on?
This hurts me physically, Scott.
Yeah.
I'm physically insulted.
My advanced typography professor would be offended by everything I'm looking at right here.
I like that they've got sangers. That's Aussie for sandwich.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of that stuff, so I don't know how. It's not that legit. It's just food. And it's good food. We like it. It's nice. It's okay.
Joey eats the Joey menu for the kids.
Yeah, they got Joey menus. Pretty dumb, right? So anyway, so we're there, and we're the way you get your own drinks, right? Soda machine. They got a Pepsi, kind of like the Coke machines that have everything in them at the movie theaters.
Really? The Coke? What do they call that? Freestyle.
The Freestyle. They got a Pepsi
so the
equivalent
Pepsi version of that.
Yeah,
I've never seen a Pepsi version. That's cool.
And I don't know what it's called, but it's some kind of Pepsi unit, and it's got all the same stuff, touchscreen, do all this sort of thing. It's smaller though. It's a more narrow device. It's not like a giant vending size machine or whatever. Anyway, you can get, if you want water, it's just the first button there. You just hit it and you get water.
Sure.
And so I'm heading toward that thing because I'm thinking, oh, that's what I want. And in front of me is a little old lady with an oxygen tank. Moving very, very slowly. Like an inch a minute. Just kind of just wobbling, just barely moving. She's got her tank on its wheels. She's all wired up to it. She had something else hanging off of her arm. I don't know what that was, some kind of blood thing. She just looked like, 100 years old and was just like moving around slowly, and it was fine. And I said, she was in front of me, and she's a ways away from that machine, and there's nobody else in front of us, just her and then me. And I said to her, are you doing okay? Is there anything I can help you with? Just trying to be nice to her.
Sure.
And she goes, oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. And then she just kind of kept her head down and kept going. Well, I don't know really where she's going. So I just think, well, I'm just going to, we're still a good 8 feet away from that soda machine. I'm just going to run over there and grab my water and then grab the seat while Kim's paying. So I do that. I run around there. I grab the water. I fill it up. And I turn around, and there's that old lady looking at me. And she was really grumpy with me.
Really?
Yeah. I think what happened is she was slow boating it to the. I think that's what happened. I think I cut her off. But it was a cutoff in like Inception time. Like she was in the van.
Right. She's in the van. Hotel room. You were
right. I'm tying
Gordon Levitt stringing up Tom Hardy butt to butt with.
I'm putting the two Tom Berenger and Tom Hardy's butts together and tying them up with Cat 5 cable while the van is slowly going over the edge of the thing. We're not even low gravity yet. Whoa. Exactly. So I looked at her and I didn't know what to say, and I'm holding Kim's whatever I got for her, and then I'm holding the water, and I just look at her and I stand there, and she's just looking at me, and then she sort of like puts her eyes down and keeps shuffling our direction. And I said, excuse me. And I kind of moved out of her way. Mm-hmm. And she says something under her breath that I wish I could translate. I don't know what she said, but it was like, it's like, she totally some dark, mean, angry thing under her breath that I can't make out. She was mad at me, and I didn't know what to do. You must have
looked like the Flash to her. You know how,
it was like
just a red blur with a Jinx logo on it. Just zip right by it.
I'm like Quicksilver in that scene and
right, exactly.
That thing. What was that movie where I did that? I forgot.
It was X-Men something or other. X-Men whatever.
Movies.
First Class.
Was it?
Was that the one?
No, it couldn't have been First. No, it was the other one. It was the one later with the one after that.
Second Class.
Second Class, where at the end they tease you're going to get Apocalypse or whatever.
Oh, right.
And then that movie sucked. So yeah, that's the order of things right there. Anyway.
I wonder if you could have what
would you have said? What would you have said to help buffer that whole thing? Because I don't know what to say at that point.
In hindsight,
something
I would have said. Oh, can I help you get your drink for you, or can I fill up a soda for you or something like that? I don't know.
Maybe if I got more specific is when I was with her earlier and I said, is there anything I can help you with? That was what I was trying to do, but I should have been specific and said, I just didn't know where she was going.
This is what I want to map out. Like here's where I want kind of like Tomb Raider Go. You can move 4 spaces every time she can move 1, and I want to know at what point, like, did she have to wait at her last space more than 1 turn?
I don't know.
Or was she 2 spaces away while you were getting the drinks, and then you turned around and she was 1 space away?
Oh, see, okay. Anyone who's played the Lara Croft Go game or
even a game of chess, like you were moving, you were a pawn.
Yeah, I was a knight. She's a pawn.
Actually, yeah, you were a rook. You could like zoom all the way down to the other end of the board. She's a pawn. First step, maybe 2,
right?
2 squares, but from that point on, only going 1 square at a time.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of it all, I don't know what I could have said, but I still feel a weird tinge of guilt about it. Like, because I would never cut a lady. I would never cut an old lady with an oxygen tank. I wouldn't cut a perfectly healthy, athletic, Olympian 25-year-old lady. I wouldn't cut anyone off.
No, but she'd cut you off.
She probably would. But I wouldn't do that on purpose, so I didn't know how to. It seemed like she was in this mode of like, this is just life now. Everyone sucks. I'm now mad at that person. I don't know. I just feel bad about it. And how could you ever track that lady down? You can't do that. How am I going to find her? No. I can't go to her house and say, here's some cookies. I apologize. And then she'll say, I'm allergic to cookies, and hit me in the face with her cane or something.
Next time you're at the Wallabies at 4:00 in the afternoon for dinner, you can maybe run into her again.
Yeah, that's true. Essential Tremors.
I'm kidding, by the way. I don't know what time you were there, but I just felt like maybe
it was a little earlier than usual. Yeah. Not all the kids are out of the house. It's a weird effect.
Mm-hmm. It's the Wild West, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's only been a couple of days, but it's this feeling of normally we're busy rushing around taking care of kid-related things.
Sure.
And so, we better eat. What time is it? Oh, it's getting late. We should eat. But now it's like, we didn't have to worry about Nick had a flat on the highway, or we didn't have to worry about
left his chicken out on the desk overnight.
Right. We didn't have to worry about any of those things. As a result, it was like 5:30, and we're like, "Do you want to eat now? Like, should we go? Should we go eat now?"
Oh, it's funny. I mean, 5:30. That is kind of Tina and I do that. We regularly eat then because we just want to be. We eat early so that we can just digest and not eat late. It's a health thing.
Yeah, that's why I do the biggest benefit of my intermittent fasting is that very thing. That's the reason we do it, or mostly the reason I do it, because by the time you're done,
the problem is we also eat early, Scott, in the morning.
That's true, and so you don't get that benefit. But honestly, the biggest benefit to me has not been so much the morning bit. It's been I stop eating by 7 maximum, or at a minimum, and then by the time I go to bed, there's nothing left to digest. I'm done, right? Like I can just sleep. Oh, this is some old ass guy talk, isn't it? This is some real.
I can get some sleep and get my food digested before I go to bed at 8:30 p.m.
Oh, early bird specials. I still don't get. You and I don't get the deals at Denny's for another few years, right?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I care that much.
The senior special. I did notice when we went out to dinner at Papado's, as I mentioned with George, there, when you turn 62, this is a really weird thing they offer. When you turn 62, you can order off the lunch menu at dinner time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so you get the cheaper lunch prices.
You get all the dinner choices, but you can also get the lunch choices at dinner time.
Interesting. Okay.
Which I guess, you want a smaller portion. You don't want to pay as much as a dinner portion, but it just feels like a weird.
That's very
thing.
weird.
Like, what should we do for our seniors? I know. We'll offer them lunch food.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I guess it accomplishes the goal of giving them a discount, right? Because they're getting lunch prices.
Because the lunch prices are way less. And even though they are named very similarly, some plates are different, some items are different, but they're usually the same things as the entrees, just smaller portions. So
interesting. Okay. Well, see, we've all learned a little something today.
Yeah.
I like this. This is pretty great. Lemonade at 2020 says, be honest. Have you ever turned down a senior citizen discount if it was offered by mistake? I've never had that happen.
Yeah, but I wouldn't turn it down.
Oh, I wouldn't turn it down. Of course not.
No, it's like, let them think I'm 65, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care. Like,
good luck with that.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
I still get carded in a dark nightclub.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I got carded a week ago. Did I tell you about this? This is so stupid. I don't look at all like I'm under 21 by any stretch. No. But when I was in, I guess it's been a little longer than a couple of weeks, but whatever it was, we were at it's downtown. It's a southern place. It's a bar. It's really good food, and I forgot the name of it, but not Bubba's.
Is it a chain or is it a local?
Gators. No, it's a local thing. It's this awesome place called, these people moved here from New Orleans and opened it, and it's amazing. Anyway.
Nice. Cajun food?
Yeah, it's really good. Like, their alligator pie is amazing. Oh, my gosh, so good. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they just carded me as I walked in there, and I'm like, I looked at the girl and I went, really? She goes, we just do it to everybody. I'm like, okay.
She didn't have to say that. That she made you feel really good, and then we do it to everybody.
Yeah, it's just everybody comes in here, gets carded. You don't have to tell me that. You can say, no, I just thought you looked like a young, let's have a little playful.
That's what she should have said.
Yeah, a little playful back and forth. Why not? Anyway. All right. Well, later on today, we get to find out how Justin and his good time happened there at the Trump rally. He also went to various other rallies. But really, we just want to know about the weed pipe. And I don't even know how much he's prepared to say about it. But lots of fun stuff from Justin today. So stick around for that. But for now, we got to do the news. So here it is. Time for the news, brought to you by...
Hey, you tadpole weirdos. Do you come across articles online that you don't have time to read? Have you tried Read It Later services only to find that they end up just as a list of articles you're never going to get around to? Try listenlater.fm. That's listenlater.fm, a Read It Later service for your ears. Listen Later gives you a personal podcast feed that you can add to your podcast player. Then, as you're browsing online, you send Listen Later articles you want to read. It nearly instantly converts the articles into audio podcasts that you can listen to when you have time. Please visit listenlater.fm to try it for free. Get in and get it happening now.
Yeah, that's right. All right, this is a story. This story is carryover from yesterday.
Okay.
Well, I have to test a GIF here real quick. There you go, chat room. I'm just going to leave that up the rest of the day. This is a story that was a carryover, and the headline alone is worth it. So I'm going to read it to you just as the way it's written on the headline. This is a Vice.com article. Vice.com doesn't really hold back when it comes to headlines. They just kind of say what they think. This headline is Why climbing Mount Everest gives people weird boners. Have you heard this before? I've never heard this.
I like how they give me the what and assume that I want to know why, that I've always wanted to know why, when this is the first time hearing about the what.
Yeah, the what is new to me.
I thought it was always a given that Mount Everest gave people weird boners. I never questioned why.
I just thought awkward moments in junior high gave people weird boners, but whatever.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It says here, you may have heard of airplane boners. Nope, never heard of those.
No, I haven't heard of that either.
Nope, that's new.
I think Vice is making a lot of assumptions here.
They really are, especially about us. But anyway, this term colloquially, thank you, describes erections on planes. Really? Thanks for clearing that up.
Airplane boners. I see how it. Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, Vice. So you've gone from over assumption to over explaining.
Yeah, they've done it.
We just got vice-planed.
They've somehow done it in less than 20 words.
Right.
Allegedly due to changes in air pressure that affect blood pressure. Okay, sure. I guess I could see that. Only apparently it doesn't just happen on planes. This person who wrote this article says, I recently got sucked down a bit of an internet rabbit hole reading about how the same phenomenon affects mountaineers climbing big mountains, in particular the biggest mountain of them all, Mount Everest. Now I have to admit I was a little skeptical, so I decided to ask an expert what happens, and he says it happened to be his dad, who is a doctor. So I asked Dr. Dominic Roscioli. That sounds right. About altitude-related blood pressure and whether it could cause permanent erection while mountain climbing.
A permanent erection?
Oh, yeah. Permanent, Brian. Permanent.
Well,
doesn't go away, right?
I forgot my walking stick going up Mount Everest. This is coming in handy.
It sure will. You got to pry yourself out of a cave in or something, a landslide.
A nice crevasse.
Oh, it's a bad use for a wiener. All right. Anyway, it says that I talked to his dad. Whether or not I could do this, it says it was an awkward conversation, but Dad explained that because air is thinner at altitude, it causes blood pressure to rise. This, he said, can cause severe exhaustion, shortness of breath, disorientation, heart palpitations, and yes, mountain boners. Now, what's funny about that is every one of those sounds horrible. Severe exhaustion, shortness of breath, disorientation, heart palpitations. Well, the boner's all right. It's a good,
compared to the rest of those things, sure. It's
we all like a boner.
Yeah, I'll take option E. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal. By the
we
way,
maybe not call them weird boners, because maybe unexpected boners, because the boner itself, there's nothing weird about it.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I buy into that.
It just turns it into a 90-degree angle. It's weird.
Yeah.
What a weird boner.
Now that would be weird. If you ended up with like a bender bot kind of thing going on. I agree with that. Anyway,
surprise boner. I like that term. There you go. Thank you.
A surprise. Yeah.
A surprise boner.
Yeah. I don't like surprises, but that one's all right.
No.
That one's okay.
I remember one jumped out from behind the couch. Surprise!
It's me, a boner. I'm a surprise boner. Oh, the title's going to be janky at this point. It's going to be all effed up toward the end of the
I'll tell you, by the way, I was on Cord Killers last night.
Oh, very nice.
With, Tom Merritt and Brian Brushwood.
Oh.
And it took maybe 8 seconds to read through all the potential titles.
Oh.
It was like, all right, we've got 12 titles to decide on here.
Oh, yeah, we cream those guys. It's not even close.
I wonder, BioCow probably can tell us this. What show gets the most titles?
Oh, I think it's us.
I bet it's either us or Night Attack.
If it's not us, I'll be shocked.
Yeah,
he'll have to tell us, but I'm willing to bet pretty hard that we got that beat.
They ended up titling the show after some dumb thing I said, because I was trying to describe, the place where everybody gets together to dish about the previous night's gossip.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Where do people get together, Scott?
Where they talk about the previous night's gossip.
Yeah, like, let's take a break from work, and we're going to talk really quickly about gossip from last night. And,
the water cooler.
Water cooler, yeah. I called it the coffee room.
Oh, excellent.
Because I was thinking gathering around the coffee pot or the break room. Could not come up with water cooler, so I said, we all get together at the coffee room.
Yeah. Oh, BioCow, there he is. We have over 50% of total titles, which makes us the leader, but it's because it's daily. That makes sense. Wow. But on a per-show basis, how do we do, BioCow? Is there a way you can, look at one of our biggest days in the database and then compare
our Tuesday to a Night Attack Tuesday?
Yeah, there you go. Like last Tuesday to Night Attack Tuesday. How did it go? Just curious. I mean, we have nothing writing on this. We don't care if it's...
And yes, Dead Polymers, I do need an entire room for coffee. Thank you.
Wow. Where do you think he's in now? Where do you think this room is right here, guys? That's Brian's coffee room.
Exactly. Wherever I am, if I've got this, it's the coffee room.
Wherever he is, that's where you are.
Bye.
So, where the heck was I? Oh, yes, we finished this. Weird boners on a mountain.
We're done talking about weird boners.
People have those, I guess, and good luck to them. It's probably not great. Like, you're already exhausted, your oxygen levels
you've already the blood is already rushing out of your brain. you don't need it to rush somewhere else that's not really going to give you any use.
No, there's no benefit, there's no value.
Plus you're all packed tight in those parkas and it's cold, and
you probably barely know you got one. Oh, this is such a boy thing to talk about. Sorry, ladies, we apologize. All this boner talk.
It breaks the myth of shrinkage.
Yeah. Up there's no. I was in the pool, and I was on the mountain. All right, moving on. We got a Vancouver story, so check this out. So I always think that the weirdest stories about people doing janky stuff, it happens in Florida, because we get a lot of stories from Florida.
Sure.
Not this time. A $2,000 fine, Canadian dollar fine, for a Vancouver driver who used flashlights instead of his headlights. This reminded my wife.
Let's say
of
flashlights, not flashlights.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Just wanna
oh
make
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Whew. Sheesh, those aren't going to give a lot
Just so
of.
we completely get off the previous subject.
Good idea. That was a nice
Good
taper
enough.
you did there. It was like you didn't want to go cold turkey. Brian wanted to
No,
taper
no,
off.
exactly. The abrupt stop, people get whiplash.
Oh yeah, you can have seizures. You don't want to stop quickly. You need to.
So
ease
flashlights instead of headlights, you say?
Well, let's look at this redneck piece of garbage business here. Not this guy, just the thing he did. A driver taped flashlights to his pickup truck when the headlights burned out and received a hefty fine from the Vancouver Police Department. Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's not okay to use the flashlights where you have the headlights, see? Okay, eh? That's what they said. That's how they said it.
Oh no, you hoser, you're not gonna have to. You're gonna have to get your headlights fixed, eh?
I'm glad you threw in a hoser. By the way, when was the last time you listened to the Great White North album?
Oh, it's been a while.
I listened to it
far too long.
probably a month ago with Carter. First time she'd heard it, and we.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had our Echo play it. I just got in a mood one night. I'm like, oh, you guys have never heard this? Okay, we got to play it because I made some reference, and I played it. And you know what? That thing is still freaking funny. It's good. Cool. Yeah, it's great. In fact, my favorite part about it is it's like truly improv. Like you can tell those guys are just not reading scripts.
Right,
and
right.
Oh man, it's so good. Bob and Doug.
That
McKenzie.
thing made so much money and probably took them half a day to record. I think obviously the most time intensive part of it was getting Geddy Lee in there to sing "Take Off to the Great White North," but the rest of it. Let's play a game called Beer Hunter.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna shake up a beer. Which one is it gonna be?
Oh, you hoser! You picked the wrong one again, hoser. Like it's not.
I'm in your ear.
Oh, you remember a lot from this thing.
I remember a lot. I listened to that album like crazy.
I did too. I almost had it memorized for a while there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
why don't you ever clean in here, eh?
It holds up. My favorite segment was and is the church one where Bob McKenzie pretends he's in church, and he gives himself an echo, and they have like an organ, and he gets up and does, okay, so open your Bibles, eh? And like it's the stupidest thing. I love it. I so love it.
Such a great album. Still holds up.
Anyway,
I gotta go listen to it. I think I might own that on CD just because we found it at a used shop or something for $1.
you probably do. If not, everybody has it on their streaming stuff, so you just
Exactly. Yeah.
all right.
Flashlights instead of headlights.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Sergeant Mark Christensen tweeted that traffic officers initially pulled over this driver for having an insecure load. I just like how that sounds. But once they got a closer look, boy, that's like it. You know what you just did? You just did Beavis in the late stages of like lung deterioration mode or something.
This is where Beavis would be right now, right?
Yeah.
Just
Yep. That's about a 65-year-old smoking meth head version of
I think
Beavis.
Beavis would vape. I no doubt that both Beavis and Buffhead, Beavis and Butthead would both be vapors.
Beavis and Butthead would both be vapors. Beavis and Butthead would both be vapors. That's the hardest thing to say.
It is. Okay, here we go. BioCow gives us the stats. Last Tuesday, Night Attack, 102 titles with 206 votes. Frog Pants, 111 titles with 215 votes.
Take that. Boom is right. Take that, you cultish bastards.
I think we see there was a landslide victory. It was not even close. Not even close.
Some say the biggest ever. Biggest, widest win.
biggest ever victory in titles.
Titles ever. So today we gotta make it even harder for them to compete, you guys. We got to do tons of them.
That's right.
I mean, it's all.
I think the weird boner story would totally do that for us.
It's all fake competition, but we enjoy it nonetheless. Well, thank you, BioCow, for your honesty. Even though I know he's a little biased toward those guys, he likes those guys. I mean, who doesn't? I like those guys.
Yeah, of course we do. Yes.
All right, let's do this story here. I should finish this out. It says here, the vehicle also did not have insurance. That's a shock. And the driver failed to comply with previous inspection orders, said Christensen. In all, the driver received $1,920 in fines. And that's half a high definition resolution. You may as well just add the 1080 to that. Anyway, had their vehicle impounded. They even did a tweet. It says, "Stopped for insecure load. Further examination found flashlights being used as headlights, taillights. No insurance and failed to comply with previous inspection order. All told, $19.20 in fines and the vehicle removed from the road. Hashtag road safety."
Wow.
That's from the Vancouver
And I
PD.
bet so nearly $2,000 replacing your headlights, maybe $150
Probably.
maximum. Like depending on what the problem is. If it's wiring, then might be more expensive because you got to get in there and fix the wiring. But my guess is that his headlights just burnt out.
Plus, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think it's an older make. And so he should have, it should have cost him hardly anything. Newer cars have weird headlights and stuff. Some of that stuff's expensive, but I think he would have been fine. So learn from this poor Canadian's mistake and get your crap together there, buddy. A pet poodle. Oh, this is sad. How do you like? You like dogs? You like dogs?
Ending.
Yeah, but you have
I
dogs.
do like dogs. I do like dogs, but I don't like little dogs. I like big dogs.
You don't like yippy dogs.
I don't like little yippy dogs that have a Napoleon complex that feel like anything larger than them is something that they need to bite to show their dominance.
Yeah.
Big dogs are like, hey, cool. We're close to the same size. I'm on your level. I'm gonna go sleep on the floor.
Yep.
Little dogs are like,
yeah, they have to like defend everything,
exactly,
protect everything. I agree with you. It's annoying. Like there are times to love those little dogs, but it's usually while they're puppies. When they get to be adults, they get fiercely protective and territorial. They'll pee on everything to protect it. They're just kind of little a-holes. So I sort of agree. And the bigger the dog gets, the easier they are on this front. Like the most calm, relaxed, chill dog I've ever met is like a Great Dane, because they don't have anything to prove.
Totally. There, exactly. Like, yeah, people, fine. What a nuisance. I'm just gonna sleep over here on the couch.
Yeah.
Stop me.
And I did just describe kids. That's a good point, Cleo.
You kind of did.
Cleo's right.
So yeah, I know. And Wicked Truth says I've met some little dogs that aren't a-holes. True. I mean, my aunt and uncle have a little dog named Gizmo, and he's cute, and he bit Tina twice, but he's never bitten me. And
Right.
So that's not a problem.
Sure. It's nice to see Cleo in here, by the way. Hi, Cleo.
It is. I know. Cleo's.
Been ages.
It has been ages.
She's very busy. She's a busy human being. Lots going on. Stuff to do.
She sent me a great book over Christmas. It's all album covers. I've got it behind me here, but it's like the 100 best album covers of all time, and it's such a great.
What a perfect thing for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
I want one that's the 100 worst album covers of all time.
I think I've got that book actually. I know.
Seriously? Oh,
Yeah.
I search. Yeah. I'll do Google searches like for an entire evening looking for those. I love them so much. They're so bad.
There's a website that is something like worst album covers, and they turned that website into a book, or the website released a book, just kind of like awkward family photos and.
Brilliant
like
idea.
that.
That's a great idea.
And it's such a great book of like these really awkward, uncomfortable album covers.
We should have thought of that. That's a brilliant.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Coverville Media.
There's a lot of things that I've thought of that I waited too long and I watched somebody else come out with that exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most top of that list is the Cover Me blog putting out a book about the 100 best covers of all time. So I was like, I had that.
Yeah, that was your idea.
Like I even had like an outline written for it. I just never got to it. So let that be a lesson to all of us.
That's
you
right.
Think of something that hasn't been done yet, do it, because somebody's going to beat you to it.
If you've got an idea about an insecure guy who owns a can of expired cream corn named Can, get out there, make a comic, make it done.
And it has a weird fat bald friend with a stomach tumor.
I mean, I exaggerate things. I
know. I noticed that Fred's awfully skinny compared to his bald friend, but
and a lot of people have pointed out that they think that I'm being like Fred, but I'm much fatter than I used to be. So I'm not that skinny guy anymore. But maybe they're right. I don't know. It was never an intention. Fred's not supposed to be a version of me, but and that guy based on you, it's definitely based on you. But when I drew it, I hardly draw any. There's no such thing as a flattering portrayal of anybody I draw ever.
No, exactly.
They all look stupid.
Yes.
I am more like Can now, TVZ Gone. I think that's a fair point. I'm more like Can than Fred. But I used to be a lot more like... I was a lot more like Fred back in the day.
Also doesn't have a unit.
It doesn't have a unit. According to Brian, he was checking it out, looked underneath it and everything.
Checking the can.
Yeah, checking the can.
Checking the date on the can. That's all I was doing, checking the date.
That one tweet we got was so hardcore.
Jeez
It was
Louise,
like,
I know.
is Brian going to F that can? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, what?
Wow. And I noticed I was like, is the guy in your comic strip going to F that can? No. Is Brian going to F that can?
Yeah, he just jumped right to it. He was like not even going to play around with like...
yeah, thanks, whoever you are.
Yeah, whatever person that we've vilified here on the show live. Here's this deal with these little tiny dogs. Poodle was taken by a hawk, and it was found 28 hours later in another county. Now, this is what's funny, or not funny, but normally what happens when this happens, and this has happened to my brother in Phoenix. In their case, it's big owls, giant desert owls. Mm-hmm. They will swoop down, and my sister-in-law has like, at any given time, she's got like 6 of these little freaking yippy dogs, just tons of them. And they all have names and clothes and their own drawers that they keep their clothes in. It's
really?
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, no judgment, but I couldn't do it. It would drive me crazy. But she's really into it. And anyway, one day while Mark was out doing something in the yard or something, and one of these dogs was out there with him, and one of these owls swooped down and took it. And they never saw that dog again. That dog is food. Yeah. Like, that was it. They were done.
I'm sure.
But apparently the hawk is, in this case, was feeling, I don't know, felt guilty or I don't know what it did. It just wasn't hungry. But
or the dog fought back enough to where it could get free.
Could be. This is how the story goes. Deborah Falcione? Falcione.
Where is it? Right here. Falcione. I don't know.
All right, something like that.
Falcione.
She said her dog, Portia. Oh, I hate that.
Well, it's a combination of the traditional spelling, which would more normally be Portia,
right,
combined with the car spelling, which is Porsche. So she like combined them and spelled it Portia.
It's either Portia or that's just a weird way to spell Porsche.
And a poodle. Come on. I mean, you name a greyhound Portia. Yeah. You don't name a poodle Portia.
Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway,
so Yugo at best.
No, Yugo. Oh, the memories I have with Yugos. Anyway, taken by the hawk, was missing for 28 hours. They thought they'd never see her again, but the dog was found alive. All I can do is thank God for the miracle, because I don't know how else this dog could have survived. Well, there's a couple other ways, right? I mean, I'm not banging on her faith here or anything. I'm just saying there are other ways that the dog could have survived. It doesn't necessarily have to be divine intervention.
It had to be divine intervention.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, again, she can. That's great, and it's not a problem, and that's totally fine. Yeah. But when somebody, like, I've had somebody in my life before tell me, I was supposed to go to the dentist. I lost my keys. I don't know why I'm giving him a southern accent. I apologize. I lost my keys, and I don't know where they were, and I was almost late for that appointment, and then suddenly it came into my head, you were in that couch, and I went and checked that couch, and lo and behold, there were the keys. The Lord intervened and told me where the keys...
That's right.
I don't think God has time for that. I don't think he cares.
Sports teams that thank God for their win, or reality show contestants that... Thank God for making it to the end.
I hate it because it implies other. You have to think of the implications. If a guy comes out after a sports win and goes, "Well, first, so how do you feel about your win?" And he puts the mic in his face. Well, first of all, I just want to thank Jesus. Without Jesus, I wouldn't have been able to win this. Jesus. And you're like, wait a minute. Is Jesus a freaking New England Patriots fan? Like, what are you doing?
He hates the Eagles. He hates the Philadelphia Eagles and made them lose.
Hates the Eagles. Yeah, he hates them so bad that he intervened on...
He hated those other 11 contestants on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, I hate it. I really hate it. And it also has other implications, like it's unequal. Like, he only liked you. The rest of you aren't worthy for his like. Or... hey, that dog only got saved because God didn't like all the other dogs that got taken and eaten. Like, just...
Or that he's a little more concerned about a hawk carrying off a poodle than, I don't know, coronavirus.
Right.
Like that's on his to-do list just after save poodle from hawk.
Yeah, he's got a list. Okay, save poodle from hawk. And I know your answer, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's omnipotent. He can do anything he wants any time. It can do
It's
all
his
things.
plan, Scott.
Okay.
It's his plan.
That's all fine. That's all good. And again, it's not a knock against her faith, and I guess she can just whatever. But you're not that. Everyone you're not that special. Okay, you got it. It's a dog. It's a hawk. The hawk is hungry. The hawk didn't fly over there and go, all right, I'm ready to eat, and then suddenly went, boom, and a burning bush told him not to eat the thing. Don't eat the dog, says the bush, and the bird went, caw, and he gave up on it.
Stop eating that poodle.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry. I'm a bird, and I eat dogs. Why is this a problem suddenly now? Why?
Put the poodle down.
Okay, but what if I just ate a leg or an eyeball or something? Can I just eat a piece of the dog?
I hate mice. There's a mouse right over there. Go eat the mouse.
Ah, no shit. Cool. All right, thanks, God. And then he goes and eats the mouse.
Later. I've got a couple contestants on The Amazing Race that I'm really rooting for.
And whichever one wins, they'll claim the divine intervention. All right, that was pretty good. Anyway, she's got her dog back, so enjoy your dog. Well done.
And a little dog too.
Here's a fun one. A California street was shut down after 40,000 bees.
Oh!
They swarmed a hotel. That's no good.
No.
Yeah. That's better than millions of bees, but I'm going to play it anyway. Here you go.
Bees! Millions of bees!
Uh-huh. Right? How about this one?
Yeah.
Here's a famous one.
I don't like bees.
I don't like bees either.
That's the best one. That is one of my favorites right there. I don't even remember what that's from. What is that from? Is that a news article?
No, it was someone, it's a listener. He called in and said that.
Oh, that's right.
It was something about a bee story we did or something, but the way he said it just stayed with me. And I thought,
borderline Bhutanese passport.
Yeah.
I don't like bees.
It's just something about the way he says it. So good. Anyway, 40,000 of these bees. And look, God would have stopped that too if he wasn't busy, working
rescuing
with
a poodle from a hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, or helping, one of the Jenners achieve a new goal or something.
Right.
Who knows?
Well, 14 of the people on that California street deserved it.
I could just let that one go.
Yeah.
California street was shut down. As many as 40,000 Africanized bees have been had sent several people to the hospital and closed the street in California after they swarmed the eaves of a Howard Johnson. The eaves.
Eaves, Howard Johnson Eaves.
Yep. Police and firefighters were called to the scene after a report of a bee sting on Boulevard in Pasadena.
What? Wait. Can you call the police to report a bee sting now?
You can call animal. I don't know what you do. Because if you think there's a whole swarm and it's like a danger to the immediate.
Right, if there's a swarm, but it sure sounds like police and firefighters were called to the scene after a report about a bee sting on a boulevard in Pasadena.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Evening.
That's a little like, especially in an area like that, they don't. I know they have other things to do than check
I'd like
on
to
a bee
report
sting.
a bee sting. Please.
It really hurts. Could you please come help me get it out? Thanks. Bring an EpiPen. Okay.
We're putting out an APB.
All points, Beaton. That says, we have firefighters who have been working for many, many years. They say this is by far the most bees they've ever seen in one location, says a Pasadena Fire Department spokesperson, Lisa Durdrian. She told the LA Times. Something set them off. Some activity, noise, vibration. It's hard to tell, says Dave Williams. He's the County Beekeepers Association lord.
Oh, good. The LACBA.
There you go. That's the guy. It says Africanized bees are described or have descended from crossbreeded bees between African and European bees that were introduced to South Africa, or America rather, in the 1950s, but escaped and proliferated, breeding with local species. Due to their habit of aggressively defending their nests, these insects have acquired a particular nickname, killer bees. Bees! Oh, no! Bees!
Oh, no!
That was a lot of bees.
That was a good soundbite for that.
How about this one?
You saying these bees eat plastic?
Yeah, I am saying that. I have a lot of bees.
If you see bees flying around and you see a lot of them, be aware of that.
That's the Pasadena police, I think, right there.
Yeah. That's really good.
Be aware of that.
Oh, what's this one?
She loved bees.
Oh, she loved bees. That's
Loved bees.
Sean Bean in that movie where the house was covered in bees. We saw it for Film Sack, or did we? What was that? Yeah, he was
Not
like
the Wicker Man.
No, he's like the bee master.
Really?
You saw it. It was a Film Sack movie. I don't remember.
It's not sounding familiar, but I believe you.
Didn't
She loved bees.
Oh, what's the movie? Chat room, it's your job now. Now it's your job.
Jupiter Ascending.
That's it.
Oh, Jupiter Ascending. Yes, right. Of
That's
course.
That's it.
Yep.
A movie I liked more than I think I was supposed to.
Yeah. You know what? In the right hands, with the right, I don't know, the right acting.
Yeah.
The right cast.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot better.
Maybe better. Sure. It's very comic booky. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't as bad as everyone's told me it would be.
I get that movie confused with Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets so much, like putting scenes that are in one into the other and trying to remember. And
Plus, didn't they? I mean, they were really close to each other when they
they
came out.
seem like they came out right around the same time.
Yeah. And that's another one that's kind of bad, but I kind of didn't hate. I think what it is I go easy on films if they give me nifty visuals and it's enough for me to get past a lot of the other broken stuff. Like,
yeah, if the world building story in your head is better than the film on screen, it's still created something in your mind, and it still deserves a little credit for that.
I agree. On that note, we're going to take a break. When we come back, making things with Bill, and then jury duty. He went to a Trump rally. He also went to rallies of all the Democratic candidates, and there's a story about a weed pipe. We'll get to all that in a minute. Before that, though, a song selection from Brian Ibbott's vast catalog.
We are really selling that weed pipe story. I can't wait. Can't wait to hear it.
It's going to be great.
Big thanks to Clarion Call for this one. Aberdeen, Scotland-based rock quartet Cold Years have a brand new album coming out, their full-length debut called Paradise. And their first single is out now. It's called Night Like This. You watch this video and it's great. It's a bunch of guys from Scotland drinking and carousing and having a good time, and it makes me want to be there hanging out with them. The album comes out Friday, May 8th, but you can hear this song right here, right now. Here's the song Night Like This by the band Cold Years.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
I just want to talk to you a minute. The aliens are coming.
The Morning Stream. Better than Quentin Tarantino's toe dipped in sour cream and onion.
Ugh.
It is better than that, though.
Dude, Brian, almost everything I can think of is better than that.
Yeah.
Can you think of anything worse than a mouthful of Tarantino's toes?
In cold sour cream? Yes. A mouthful of Tarantino's toes and hot sour cream.
Oh, yeah, but it was worse than that is that it wasn't prepared hot. It was just hot from it being in a shoe all day.
My toes heated up.
Yeah, see? That's how this works. Oh, he's having a kid. Did you see this? He's having a kid?
I saw the tweet about that.
That tweet that says, hope the kid doesn't come out feet first or something like that was the joke?
Yes.
Yeah, I know who'll love that joke. Whoever that guy is that wrote me and yelled at me for talking about his feet all the time. But hey.
Oh, is there somebody who hates that? Quit talking about Quentin Tarantino and his love of feet.
Yes.
Signed, Schmenton Schmerantino on Twitter.
Schmerantino.
Forget the fact this is my first tweet.
I
This
never
is a
tweeted
sock
before.
puppet account. What are you talking about?
I've never done this before. How do you tweet? Never done it. All right, we're going to get this show on the road by playing this.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
It's Bill Duran, all the way from the Pacific Northwest, otherwise known as Seattle, Washington, or thereabouts. And he's here to talk about the world of making things. And he's with us today, as he is often on Tuesdays. Hello, Bill. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to hear you.
Congratulations on your brand new Amazon store, which was on the news in Denver this morning.
Whoa. What?
What did I do?
What is this? What happened?
I'm sorry. There's a new Amazon store in Seattle.
Oh.
Sorry, not a punish props Amazon store. I should clarify. Congratulations on Seattle's new Amazon store.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, well, thank goodness. You know what's funny? I live south of Seattle. I bet if I ordered something on Amazon Now Prime or whatever, it would get here quicker than if I ordered it or drove to that store.
Yeah, I'm finding that actually
really?
is happening. That's happening here more often because there are 2 new warehouses here. And in 2 different cases, I've gotten same-day delivery just out of nowhere. Just
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just unexpectedly same day. I've only done that when I've ordered something with same day delivery.
Well, so in one case, it was me saying, "Oh, they offer same day on this one," and then I would do it. But then the other one was, "It'll be here the next Wednesday," and it came that day, and I didn't expect it, which is nice. I'd rather them over deliver under promise, but that doesn't necessarily make up for all the times they've promised a date and then missed it.
Yeah.
So
Right, exactly.
give and take, I guess. Anyway, Jeff Bezos notwithstanding, it's good to have Bill on. Bill, what are you up to this week? What are we doing?
I have been making helmets. So I'm working on my book, Foamsmith 3. It's all about making things for your head. And to finish it off, I'm going to have, I think, 4 example builds to show off all of the techniques that are taught in the book, sort of a practical application segment.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing. I've been making these example pieces. They're all original designs, so they're not from anything. They're all new. Either I've hired friends to design some cool things, or I've designed some cool things myself. Can't wait to show them off.
Yeah.
So I've got a sort of a fantasy helmet. In fact, last week I put out our 500,000 Mandalorian subscriber video, and in that video you can see a dwarven helmet that I made.
Ooh.
And that's one of the example pieces. It's sort of a fantasy helmet. I also made a little crown. It's sort of a simpler beginner project. And then I'm working on a mask, something that's a little more organic. And then, of course, I'm going to have to make a space helmet, which I haven't started yet. That'll be the last one. But I figured I'd cover a wide range of genres, sort of make something for everyone. Something everyone will have a thing they're interested in.
Yeah, I like that because you're going to, you'll cover all your bases that way. People that follow your stuff, there may be some that are, that were drawn in by your Skyrim stuff.
Yeah.
And then stayed for the further adventures of fantasy props. And then others may be like, no, man, it was all about his Mass Effect days and those cool guns he made and that armor he made. And, that's good. It's always good to cover all those fandoms, I think.
Absolutely. It's also more fun for me to make a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah. Plus you're fans of all that stuff too. You're a nerd of all trades. You love all that.
Oh, yeah. I go through phases too where I'm like, I need cyberpunk in my... I really need cyberpunk in my life. I can't wait. But you know what I mean? Like I'll be have an itch for a fantasy game and I'm like, well, guess I'm playing Skyrim again. For the 5th time. I hear I can get it on the Switch now.
That's right. That's right. Oh, you know what's cool? Sorry, unrelated, but or sort of related, but the Witcher 3 game that came out on Switch recently now is compatible with synchronizing your PC saves. So if anyone has played or is playing The Witcher on PC and you're like, man, I wish I could take this with me on my Switch. Now you have to buy the game, but you literally can take your saves and your progress anywhere you go. And I think it includes some mods and stuff. It's a weird thing. It's a very odd. No one has ever really done this before, and it was a big deal. And so immediately when I heard that, I'm like, okay, can we just retrofit this to, I don't know, Diablo 3, maybe Skyrim? Let's spread that around because that's the future I want. I want to have my saves wherever I go.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
All right. So one of the other reasons why I'm doing these different pieces of headgear is to cover different techniques, a variety of techniques. Now, I cover all of that in the book, but these are examples showing how those techniques are used in a practical application. So, for example, right now I'm working on this mask. It's very organic. I'm kind of making it look like it's a creature made out of a tree. It's very plant-like. Now, all of those details I'm sculpting in using foam clay, which is really neat. Also, something I don't have a ton of experience with, so it's been an adventure for me. But this mask is showing off how to use that material in that way. The fantasy helmet, on the other hand, is much more geometric, a lot of straight lines. So that's all made from sheets of foam that were cut out and then assembled. No, not a lot of sculpting. And then another good example, the space helmet is going to have some kind of a see-through visor. So that'll be a chance for me to show off how you could do that for whatever visor-like helmet you might be making for your costume.
Nice.
So each of the different builds has a different example like that that's specific to that type of helmet, but it also shows off how to do it.
Very nice. That's awesome.
So the goal, of course, is to arm the readers with everything they need to know to make whatever helmet they want to make. One of the things I'm running up against all the time is I'll have people say, "Hey, you made a cool space gun. Can you do that except from the game I like?" And I could, but as soon as you step your toe down that path, that's all you do. You just take requests from the internet. And I'm a little hesitant to do that.
Yeah, guess what there's a lot of in this world. Video games with special guns in them. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and they're all cool, and I do want to make all of them, but I
Sure.
need to be a little picky.
Sure.
I mean, it would be a struggle just to make all the helmets from Avengers. Like, there's just so many out there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So are you run? So I'm trying to wrap my head around what it would take to make 3 separate books on foam smithing and still have new material. Like, are you doing more advanced techniques in the third one to address a lot of this stuff? Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, I am, and there's some specific stuff, especially about making patterns that is head specific. The human head is a weird thing. Also, you need to breathe and see and hear and eat, and all of those things happen on your head. And if you cover it in foam, you can't do those things anymore. So there's a lot of specific stuff to the head that I cover in this one.
Well, that's cool, because I have a big misshapen dumb head, and if I was to do anything like this, I would have to account for that. Do you remember that time at BlizzCon I tried to wear your Skyrim helmet and it wouldn't fit?
I believe we have a photo.
Yeah, it's just like barely pulled down the part of my forehead. I couldn't get it down all the way because I have this giant freaking melon head. And so I would have to take that into account, but also shapes are different. And some people have back of their head goes out a little further, front goes out further. Some people were born funny and they got like a cone head thing going. So
we should life cast your head.
Oh man,
that sounds fun.
That does sound fun. All right, look, here's the deal. Next time I'm in your shop or in the Seattle area, we'll make a plan to cover my. I want to. You're gonna have to. Someone's gonna have to hold my hand because I'll get super claustrophobic under all that stuff. But I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll commit. Right. I'm committing now. I'm ready.
Do that in a heartbeat.
That's
why I started doing that the foam version of my head, which I still haven't.
Yep, you'll get there.
You'll get there eventually. Don't worry.
I have to actually, get back and finish it.
Oh,
well, yeah.
Oh, you have to do it to get it done? Oh.
I have to do it to get it done. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. Hey, one thing before we go to bonus link of the week.
All right.
Have you ever heard of a mountain boner? You ever heard of that?
Or an airplane boner, for that matter.
I could guess, but you should just tell me.
All right. So we had the story earlier where if you go on a big mountain hike, specifically people that go on Everest, I guess everybody gets a boner up there because the air pressure messes with your blood.
Except the ladies.
Except the ladies, yeah.
Right.
They don't get lady boners. Yeah, but so just know that, Bill, when you go on your Punish Props mountain hiking tour, that you're gonna have a boner. Yes. You're gonna have a lot of boners there. So
all right,
this is something to be concerned with. Hey, Bill, what bonus content can we expect from you this week?
Well,
weird bonus content.
Nothing about boners. I'm sorry to say. However, I got a video from Pablo Cima de Vela. He's a jewelry maker on YouTube. He made for not St. Patrick's Day. What's the love one? Valentine's Day. There we go.
What's the love one?
The love one that just happened.
The love one.
That's good.
All right, quick side note. It's hard to stay focused when you walk into Joann's and they're already putting up their St. Patrick's Day.
I agree. Stuff. Oh, I agree. If you're going in there to and you've got Valentine's on the mind, you're actually starting to get shifted over to some little Irish holiday about drinking. So I get it. I'm with you.
Pretty sure we went in on February 15th and they're like, bam, shamrocks, green. Wow. Anyway, Pablo made a little Cupid's bow out of a brass bolt, and he made everything. He made the string out of brass.
Look at that thing.
It's nuts. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And he's so good. And his videos are so gorgeous.
I love the way you've talked about him before, but man, The way is this stuff on like gimbals and stuff? Like, how is he filming that way?
I'm not sure. He may have a little bit of help. Yeah. I would guess.
That's really
cool. Or he's
cool.
flying a drone around in his little shop there.
It could be. Because it's so steady. Yeah. It's like a perfect steady zoom. Like, really nice.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, could be.
All right. Well, he's a nerd. Oh, yeah. Look at the way this thing's creeping up around his back. Somebody's got a gimbal or he's doing a drone. Something's like that. Yeah. I like to think it's a drone and it's going.
Yeah.
Probably got it mounted to the dog's head. That he's got walking around his shop.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
a very well trained dog.
Yes.
Well, that's awesome. Ooh, that's weird. He has a thing of toothpicks just like I do, and it freaked me out for just a second. That was weird. Anyway, Bill Duran, everybody. He is a purveyor of Punished Props at punishedprops.com, and always you can go there, find his videos, also on his YouTube channel at Punished Props. You should do that. Become a part of that community because it is rad. If you have an itch to make things, it's a great place to go. Bill Duran, have a fantastic week.
Take it easy.
We'll see you next time. Bye now. All right. Dramatic exit from a dramatic guy.
Yeah.
Now.
Like an arrow shot out of a teeny tiny bow, Bill is gone.
Bill is gone. That's right. Out of a very small bow. Boom. He's out of here. Okay. We are going to get Justin on the line. We're going to play this for him.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Oh, that's okay because I'm good with them. Mr. Justin Robert Young joins us now from Oakland, California, back in studio after a whirlwind trip to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Justin, so before we do anything else, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a mountain boner? Do you know what that is?
Well, I just heard the end of your segment with Bill, so but I had not heard that folks who get to the top of a mountain pop wicked stiffies.
They do.
Or on airplanes.
Now I do.
With all your travel, I would think that you would have experienced the airplane boner.
Oh, I've certainly gotten plenty of airplane boners in my life, but
if you look on the right side of the cockpit, you're going to notice
a boner.
As we drop in air pressure, you're going to start to get a boner.
Yeah, I would love it if they
I guess
warned
I
us.
never thought of it as a 1-for-1 thing though. I mean, like sometimes you just pop boners, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's a thing that just happens, and so and boredom causes boners sometimes, and you're often bored on a plane. So I guess I just figured it was that. I didn't know that there was any kind of physiological tit for tat in terms of my air boners.
Your air boners. So when next time anybody goes to the Mile High City where Brian lives, just know that
we just have them all the time.
Yeah, just constantly. Just
constantly.
Everywhere you look.
Just a city of coat racks.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Just can't get around it. All right. So, Jerry, I'm looking forward to this particular visit because really there are three important things on the table here in the world of politics. Sure. That is, we had the caucus over there, and you were able to visit and see a bunch of Democratic displays of caucusry and rallies. Yep. You also were able to head on over to a Trump rally, which I'm dying to hear some details about because those are infamous. And then also there's a story about a weed pipe, and I don't know if you want to tell that story or what.
It wasn't a weed pipe.
Oh.
It was my weed vape.
Oh, weed vape. Sorry, vape. It was a vape weed vape thing. And
I actually don't know if I would have been allowed to bring a pipe in.
Maybe.
Like if I just brought and there was no visible weed with it, and I just had a glass little one hitter. I don't know if that would have been disposed of.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have, because you could have said, it's my conservative mega right to have this pipe, and you could have thrown a little tizzy, and then they'd let you in. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their rules are with that. But yeah. So to start there, go to the Trump rally. And I'm on the pre-registered list for press. And as we're coming in, they have to take my bag and like full Secret Service search. They're taking everything out of the bag, looking in every little nook and cranny of it. And then I go through the metal detector. I take the stuff out of my pocket. Now I looked at my weed vape as I was leaving the hotel to get on the monorail to come out of the convention center, and I'm like, is this a leave here or a take with? And I opted for taking with just because in my mind it was going to be funny either way. Either I got a weed vape into the Trump rally.
Right. Or they took your weed vape on the way
into my weed vape from me. Either way, I've got a story. And this thing isn't necessarily cheap, although you can get it fairly cheap on special, which I will be hunting for. But it's definitely, I don't know. It's worth the story considering how many times I've told it now. It's already in classic rotation.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I found out via text, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is the greatest moment of all time. This freaking, independent, freaking hippie Oakland reporter gets stopped by the Secret Service for having a weed. Actually, I thought it was okay to have that stuff in Vegas at anything. I thought that was like a carry it wherever you want outside deal. Or maybe that's the problem.
I don't know whether or not, to be totally honest, to reveal, peel back the curtain. I don't know whether that was a Secret Service thing or it was a venue thing. Because I've definitely seen at like other like concerts and stuff in Vegas, they are restrictive about bringing weed vapes in to the venue.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I don't know whether or not it's a convention center thing. The guy did tell me, he's like, hey, look, you can put this back in your car if you want, but if you leave it with me, then it's gone forever. And I didn't want to take a $10 monorail back and forth to the Bally's so I could drop off my weed.
Was he cool, like in a Gerard Butler kind of way? Like, was he like tough looking, cool dude, or what was he like? The guy that
the dude that was working the thing, the metal detector, he was a cool enough guy. But the other Secret Service folks were like, they just did not talk.
There's no messing around with those dudes, yeah.
They were like almost no words escaped their mouths.
One of my best friends when I was 19, 20, did some college time stuff with him, told me that he was going to go into the FBI and then one day he was going to be in the Secret Service. And I never believed him because he was such a goofball. Like, this is the kind of person who would take a picture of his poo and send it to you because that was so funny. Like, that's that kind of guy. So I just thought that's never going to be the temperament. Sure enough, during the entirety of the Bush years, he was Cheney's chief Secret Service detail and went with him everywhere. And I couldn't believe it. I just thought, you're the biggest nerd I know. So every time I hear about this stuff, I either picture him or Gerard Butler types, and that's it.
Well, one of them's getting high as hell. That's all I know.
One of them's really enjoying the vape pen he stole from you. All right. So the Trump rally. How is that? Like, you hear about him all the time. You see clips from him. They feel like he meanders and flubs and says really dumb stuff, but then people really cheer and freak out and whatever. It's hard to say what that's like on the ground because all we ever see is this little frame of him and a few people behind him.
Clips. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. So what is that like now that you've experienced it firsthand?
I would compare it to a Fish concert.
Okay. What, in the fandom sense? Like everybody just loves Fish?
Here's how it is. Number one, it is packed, right? Number two, it is filled with people for whom this means far more to them than it does to me, but I can appreciate the enthusiasm on some level.
Yeah.
The main act has a very meandering style wherein themes just kind of like come in and fade out and you never know when they're going to come back again, if at all. Sometimes there's covers, old stuff that just comes back randomly. You never really know what they're going to play.
So he could go off on a toilet flush solo for like a 10-minute toilet flush.
For whatever, yeah. Next thing you know, you're listening to Gotta Jaboo, and then Tweezer starts coming in, and then Gotta Jaboo starts playing again, and then he screams about Pocahontas. Like, there's just there's just a lot of fluidity to the talking. But at the end of the day, there is a connection between the audience and the act.
Yeah.
And that is undeniable. And if there's one thing that Trump has, is that for all the meandering, and boy, howdy did this dude talk, just him went damn near 2 hours.
Ugh. Wow. That's a lot of stimulants. Wow.
It's a lot of talk, right? Yeah. So he he'll go off on these tangents, right? But he'll always know when he's got to light the crowd up again.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
He'll always know when he's, going to mention fake news or when he's going to mention Pocahontas or Mini Mike or whatever.
Failing media.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Although that is so pro wrestling, for the record. Like, all the fake news stuff, like, that is not even anybody who tells you that there's, at least in my thing, the crowd didn't really hate the media. Like, I was there on the gate, right, where theoretically the most aggressive people would be. And he goes and points out, like, oh, it's fake news. And everybody starts booing. And then I made a joke and I'm like, hey, that's me. And everybody around me laughed and it was like a friendly thing. It's
theater.
The media is the bad guys.
Right.
And everybody likes booing the bad guys. And then everybody moves on. But there was no menacing element. There was no like, I'm gonna get you, or you're the I mean, to compare it to like covering protests, I found more anger at protests toward the media than at a Trump rally. At a Trump rally, they're mainly there to see Trump.
Right.
At a protest, they're there, like, there is like an edge where things can pop off, and you never really know, because some people just might really, really, really hate the media.
So you're saying that's kind of what I thought. It seems like it's just part of maybe the show is not maybe it is the right way to say it. It's part of the show. It's like, like you said with wrestling, they're the enemy, and he has to point them out here and there. And did you have everybody get kicked out where he said, "Go home to mommy, go home to mommy"? Did you do any of those? Because those are fun. Did that happen?
No.
Damn.
No. To be totally honest, I don't know if we're gonna see a ton of those going forward. I mean, to the people that got close to the stage were like slept overnight to get in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're the
right?
hardcores.
So
yeah.
this
also
is
like
not,
a Fish concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not like, oh, I'm gonna just do this because, like, you have to really, 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 really want to disrupt some stuff to get up there. No, the only thing that happened, there was some medical event, which I to be totally honest, I didn't fully see what happened, but the rally stopped for like 10 minutes as they got a stretcher in there.
Somebody probably. That happened to me at BlizzCon once in the line to get tickets back when they used to just have it wrap around the world and back, and wasn't nearly as efficient as it is now. But I remember this year where that happened, and somebody right up toward the top or near where you'd finally get your tickets just passed out. And then they had to rush in. Yeah, I think that stuff just happens in packed places full of people, and just kind of no way around it.
And again, it's like these people were there forever.
Yeah.
Like they were there like up all night. The people that got in, when I got in, which of course I had the slip and slide line to get in through the press area, but like that was the people that were in there when I got in there had been there. Like a dude drove from LA that I interviewed. He left LA at like midnight, got to Vegas at like 3:30, and was just out in line from that point on.
Wow. Yeah, those kind of fans freak me out. I don't mean just politically. Like, I had a dude that used to sit out in my front in front of my house in his car and wait for TMS to end. He'd listen to it in the car, wait for it to end, then come to the door and knock, and then wanted to talk about the stuff we talked about. And
that man was Hammond Chamberlain.
Yeah.
No. It turned out to be, well, I don't know where he is now, but I had to have a talk with him, and then I never heard from him again. So I guess that's
that's a stop that. That's a stop.
This
that
is bad.
immediately.
Yeah, don't be doing that. This is bad stuff. All right, I have a clip from that rally,
and mostly because the last thing you want to do is talk after you just did 2 hours.
Yep,
right?
that's a huge part of it. And usually,
literally,
like I had just gotten. Go ahead.
Even if you wanted to have a conversation with somebody who does a show like this, the worst time to do it is right after it's done.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. The people I love the most can want to talk to me, and I'm going to Heisman them in the face.
Yeah, it's weird. I didn't love that. I have a clip from this very rally. I'd like you to try to tell me what the meaning of this, okay? So I'm just going to play a clip. You just tell me what this means right here.
Sure,
and yet,
of course.
Oh, whoops, let me try that again. Okay, here we go.
And yet, Anish violate that.
I don't know. Do you make any sense of that? What that was? Was that an important?
I actually do remember that. So that was about, I don't know if he even mentioned Roger Stone's name, but he was obliquely referring to Roger Stone and the story that was surrounding basically Roger Stone, who was caught up in the Mueller stuff, wound up lying to FBI agents during the process of the investigation. And initially, the sentence that he was going to get after he was found guilty was like 9 years.
Yeah.
And so there was a thing about Trump being very upset about it. And then Attorney General Bill Barr was like, hey, you shouldn't be talking publicly about the fact that you're upset about it and blah, blah, blah. But the larger point that Trump was making there was that there is a double standard for liberal people who lie to the FBI and conservative people who lie to the FBI. And he's referring, I believe, there to Dinesh D'Souza, who got caught up, and then I think Trump pardoned.
That's the name. Okay, so let me now knowing that.
Conservative documentarian Dinesh D'Souza.
Yes, that guy's great. Hold on, I'm gonna play.
And yet, Dinesh violate that.
Yeah. That's, you know what? That's it. We did it. We sussed it out. You totally did it.
He violated something, and then he got something.
So, all right. Of that, this is the other question I wanted to ask. The comparison between that and, say, the Democratic stuff you went to see.
Yes.
What's the difference? Is it this fandom that's the difference? Is it, they feel urgent, like, oh, we got to win this one, and these are the incumbents, therefore the current winners. They're sort of on top. They're more comfortable. Like, I'm just curious about that vibe between the two.
All right. So there's everybody else, not Bernie, and by and large, you have a lot of enthusiastic people, and then a lot of people that are kind of shopping. Right? They are just kind of there to check it out and sample the wares and see what's going on. The tenor of all the rallies are somewhere between, it's like the same buffet, but you can load up your plate differently of, we need to get this guy out of here. Imagine the better world that'll happen when I'm president. And then, whatever their talking points are,
sure, right.
like just their specific stuff. And you kind of build a bear with all that. Bernie is straight talking points by and large, right? He has got a well stated a set of talking points. He delivers them very well, but the tenor of the audience is like, this is no joke. There is no question that Bernie needs to win, and we are going to facilitate that going forward. It is eyes on the prize, locked down, very excited to see the man, right? But more dialed in on this campaign can't fail.
Right. Do you get that impression from here as well? I would just say, from my own perspective.
I would say that, like, with the exception of the more colorful elements of Bernie's online support, the passion is something that you can pretty much transfer directly. That does go from like online to folks that are there in the room, by my experience, at the very least.
Okay.
The Trump fans are happy, and that is a difference between the other folks. The other folks are either hesitant or happy about, maybe like they're like cheerful about momentum, but like the Trump rally, they are like, it's like a family reunion. It feels like people that are able to kind of let their hair down in a way that they can't otherwise. They are thrilled to be around each other, and it was almost like when somebody goes to like a Rolling Stones concert or something like that, and you're like, I'm just glad I got to see this.
Right. Not to say that they won't be the most unbearable assholes if they lose in 2020, because they are going to be rough to deal with for the next 4 years after that. But yeah, they're in this position of like comfortable win. They're like, yeah, man, it's I don't want to use the word smug, 'cause I don't think that's the right word, but there's a sense of like, yeah, we're here. We already did it, and we'll do it again, and we're good. And there's nobody's.
They also feel supremely confident.
Yeah,
I will say that there is an element of serene confidence in talking to Trump supporters because they believe that the Democratic Party has totally kind of gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Right now. The Democrats were saying that the Republican Party had gone totally off the rails in 2016, and that led them to victory. So, who knows exactly whether or not they're right, but that is at least the sense that I got in talking to them.
This is pretty interesting. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, that was the biggest difference is that, like, there were smiles at the Trump rally. And there have not been a lot of smiles at the other Democratic rallies that I've gone to.
Were you surprised to see Bernie take I mean, you've been picking him the whole time, kind of. Like, your bet has sort of been that the Bernie campaign would be the one in the end that would sort of win out. But were you surprised by this much momentum? It seemed like everybody else seemed to be.
I mean, I was not surprised being on the ground. Bernie Sanders has a unique relationship with Nevada. That was really the, like, OG Bernie got screwed state.
Oh, right.
And they never forgot it. They've had a ground game there for the last 4 years. They've done a lot of work in kind of turning out the rank and file of the culinary union, which would have been the only thing that could have been a massive hedge against a Bernie surge. And then Biden really did them a lot of favors by being terrible in Iowa and New Hampshire, because otherwise I think he would have gotten the full-throated endorsement of the culinary union. And that might have done more to stunt Bernie, because then the support that Bernie has with the rank and file would have gone directly against, like, you would have had to be a scab or cross a line, basically violate solidarity to vote for Bernie. But since the union didn't pick anybody, they didn't give Biden the endorsement, that basically just gave the green light for folks to go vote as they pleased, and they did so for Bernie in a tremendous measure.
And that's how it works at a caucus. It's different, right? Like, you mentioned the scab thing. You can't just go vote quietly. Like, your physicality represents who you're going to be with, right?
Well, yes and no, because Nevada had one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my entire life, and that is early voting on a caucus, which it kind of, like, violates at least the general thought of a caucus, because a caucus is supposed to be, you, at least in its platonic ideal, you get together with your neighbors, you talk about the issues of the day, then everybody states their case and makes their choice, and that's that. That it's kind of violated by a anonymous voting that happens before. So you had the chance to anonymously vote, and that happened with the tremendous majority of voters. I think that the final count is anywhere between 80 to 90,000, maybe even 100,000 total voters in the Nevada caucus, and 70,000 of those came in early voting.
Jeez, that's weird. I didn't think caucuses worked that way.
We have seen the last caucus in Nevada's history, in my opinion.
I heard an NPR person say the phrase, and this is because my brother-in-law told me about it, and I was never able to isolate the clip because we couldn't find it. I'd play it now if I could. But the person on NPR said, I want to say this right. Well, they were talking about whether they expected any kind of voting irregularities or issues like they had in Iowa, and they were all worried about that. This is all right before. And the person said, So anyway, Bill, I think they're going to be able to pull off a smooth caucus this weekend. And I said, it's like a penis, see?
Yeah.
Pulling off a penis is how I saw it. Anyway.
The question is whether or not it was bigger than it was in years past, but certainly it was a rough caucus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, but I'll tell you what, it sure did stretch long into the night.
Did it? Okay, good. So you're good though now. Are you feeling rested? And it just seemed like a whirlwind for you. So I'm hoping.
Oh God, I mean, and it's even worse in Vegas, where nothing ever ends, and every time has no dominion in Vegas, where everything is always going at all times.
Right.
So that did not exactly help me keep to a rigid sleep schedule, but. I mean, it was great. It was a good time to be there. I was worth it to go to the Trump rally. I don't know how many more of those I'll do during this phase of the Democratic caucus because I kind of feel like I got my
gonna ask
fill.
you if you're doing South Carolina.
You know, I just kind of feel like I want to catch more of the Democrats because I kind of feel I'll definitely go to more Trump rallies before this election is over, but I don't know if I'll go to any more when I would kind of rather be around the energy of what's being decided more immediately.
Yeah.
But I was glad to go to this one just to get a sense of what that rally was. And I will say, crowd-wise, it was, the most impressive thing. I mean, he would have been able, if he had given more time, and if it would have been, I mean, again, he drew probably anywhere between 3,000 and 5,000, in my opinion. And that's just people who stayed, right? Not people who like thought about coming, saw this, Disneyland on crack line, and then were like, screw it. Yeah. These were the people that stayed, and that was at noon on a work day.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings them in. They want to see the show, man. I mean, part of this,
and also, it was his third rally in the West in 3 days.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Like, and he did 2 hours after doing
a couple
Phoenix,
hours in Colorado
then
Springs,
and then Vegas. And it was not in a gigantic venue for him. For a lot of other candidates, it would have been a fairly large venue. But I'll just put it this way: the crowd that was waiting outside, that either couldn't get in or I don't know if they hit capacity, but they were all just sitting in front of a television screen watching him talk. That was bigger significantly than most rallies that I have seen.
Wow.
Well, I am sure, 100% sure that those people, that demographic will be, if he loses in November, will be just fine. They'll just say, you know what, you're right, it's okay. I'll just fade into the background. That's the way the cookie crumbled this year. Oh well.
Sure.
I'm sure
that's exactly what it's going to be like. Yeah,
I'm sure that's all we'll get out of them. All right. So one other thing before you go, what was it?
We do have a history of everybody totally cleanly accepting election results over the past.
Yeah, both sides. Right.
It's
Exactly.
It's certainly something that if there's one thing that we're really good at is
I'm
just
sure
not
Democrats
relitigating what happened 4 years ago. Right.
I mean, you're.
Oh, darn it! Trump won again. Well, we tried.
Yeah,
Let's
tried.
move
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Like, oh shucks. I bet you we'll just move on. Oh well.
Right.
Proud to salute my president.
Yeah. I didn't really explain it very well, but more I was saying like their current disposition.
The fine people have spoken. The good people on both sides.
Yeah.
Good people.
Their current disposition of confidence and smiles. I just it's going to be.
I didn't go to any Clinton stuff, but at the Democratic National Convention, I guess I did go to some Clinton stuff.
You did go to that, yeah.
They were, serenely confident. The difference was the connection to the candidate.
Right.
I think the people there, the most excited people at the Democratic National Convention in 16 were we're going to make history, like first woman president. And there were a lot of people that were admirers of Hillary's career, happy to see her cross that finish line, but not exactly like I believe in the existential presence of Hillary, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was more about the milestones. It was more like rooting for a baseball player that you like but don't love who's about to pass some gigantic milestone. Like I'm sure like how everybody felt about kind of like Cal Ripken Jr. It's like you might know that he's kind of a good guy, but you weren't really an Orioles fan, and you're just like, you want to know what? Good for him.
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. That's a good comparison. All right. Well, this is great. I appreciate the update. I know you've had to tell these stories 1,000 times. I appreciate the.
I'll tell them 1,000 more.
That's right.
That's what I'll do. But I'll be in South Carolina. I leave for South Carolina on Thursday, and that is really going to be a do or die state for Joe Biden, who during an event last night announced that he was running for Senate against other. If you wanted to vote for any of the other Bidens in the race, then please go ahead and do that.
Wait a minute. What did
not
he do?
a joke, folks.
Someone
Not
in the
a
chat
joke.
was saying this. I thought they were goofing around earlier. What? He actually announced he's running for Senate? What?
Well, I mean, he said it. Like,
so he just faux pod and said, he meant president is what he meant, right?
Well, I assume he is indeed running for president. Like that, it would be news if it was something else. But like, yes, I would assume that he indeed meant I am running for president and I'm running against other candidates and not other Bidens. Which I don't know if Hunter's running or his brother's running, or his wife is running against him, but I would assume he meant candidates.
That's no good. Can't be talking like that.
No, yesterday was a bizarre day for everybody in this race. Like Pete tried to go support a protest, like a minimum wage protest, and they were not pleased with it and chased him off.
Really?
Bernie continues to kind of double down on like all the cool things that happened during the Castro regime in Cuba.
Yeah.
Which is a weird flex in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, gave a hand wave of like, don't worry, folks, this coronavirus thing is totally under control.
Yeah.
And then Bloomberg had a cringy ass tweet thread that he had to delete. So Monday, February 24th, will go down in history as a day that I think pretty much the entire 2020 field would like back.
Yeah, I guess so. I just sit here I miss Andrew Yang. I liked him. I wish he was still there. He's not.
Yang Gang. You want to know what he did? And every day that passes, I appreciate him more for it. He dropped out of the race when he knew he didn't have a shot.
Yeah, he just dropped out.
Like, he just dropped out, and he told his supporters, I don't want to take your money when I know I don't have a shot. And that is something everybody, there are people in this race like Amy Klobuchar. There are people in this race like Elizabeth Warren, rapidly Pete Buttigieg, that we're getting to that point, man. Like the road that you have to, the things that have to happen for you to get this nomination are going to be either increasingly remote or things that would rip the party apart.
Yeah.
Right. And at a certain point, you got to be honest with yourself and say, I'm going to live to fight another day. I'm going to parlay the momentum that I have. I'm going to go out with dignity. I'm not just going to eat embarrassing loss after embarrassing loss after embarrassing loss until my head is bloodied. And they're going to drop out. But Andrew Yang will be there, welcoming. In fact, they're probably calling to them from the great beyond as of now. To, maybe it's time to go home.
Cut your losses.
Yeah, well, I like that guy, so whatever. I mean, politically, it's not even that. I found him likable. Like, of all of them, he's the one I would want to spend any amount of time with. Like,
because he was a normal person.
Yeah.
As far, I mean, like on the campaigns or the political side, he was a normal guy. I went to real quick. This will be the last thing. But scenes from Vegas. I went to the Tom Steyer rally.
Oh yeah, no one ever remembers that guy, but yes, he's a dude. He's a guy.
Well, he spent a ton of money in Nevada. Ton of money in Nevada, and I was reminded about the Steyer rally because I was driving around with a TMS friend Mitsula, and we were listening on just sports talk radio. They advertised a special guest, a special musical guest, and which turned out to be TLC.
Oh wow!
Okay. Right?
Yeah, like the third eye or whatever her name was, or one eye.
Left eye.
She died.
Right,
but yes.
Left eye Lopez.
Yeah.
You don't need to be mean.
I'm not being mean. I couldn't remember the name.
You're not Andre Rison.
I couldn't remember the name for some reason.
Snoopy Poopy Poop Dog?
Yeah, it was just a bad memory. Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, so they performed. There was an open bar, open catering, maybe about 300 people there, 250 of which work for the campaign.
Okay.
But it was a very, very unique thing that I noticed as I was around. I was looking around. There's a lot of Yang merch, right? And like, I kind of got that, like, maybe there would be Yang people around, right? But in full regalia seemed a little odd. So I went up to one of them and I'm like, hey, why are there so many Yang people here? As it turns out, Tom Steyer's daughter, Evie Steyer, was really into the Yang campaign and made a bunch of Yang friends. And so they all came just to kind of support her.
Wow. That's fantastic. Yeah, so Steyer, I mean, he's just going to hold on for dear life, right? He's never going to leave. He's just gonna...
I wouldn't be shocked if he leaves after South Carolina, because he really spent all of his money in Nevada and South Carolina. If he can't get any momentum coming out of there, then, you know, he might have to just go back to being a regular ass billionaire.
Sometimes I like to think of what a person would taste like if I bit them in the arm. And
okay.
Tom Steyer looked like he would taste like a carrot, like a fresh carrot. Is that weird?
Crisp?
You know,
maybe not as crisp as he used to be.
I don't know what his workout regimen is, but I would assume that he's like one of those guys that probably smells like a very expensive body soap.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So
Like,
probably would taste like that as well if you took a bite out of him.
Yeah, and maybe it's organic, right? It might be.
Yeah.
Like, so you know, it might be some kind of like, oh, wow, like, this is something that, like, actually, like I want to lick your arm, dude.
Yeah, I totally do. Clearly I do. All right. This place is only one place you can hear Justin on a weekly basis. There are many others, and you should be checking them out, especially anything to do with his politics shows, because that's where you're really going to get the meat and potatoes of his visits lately. So tell people where to go, what to do, what you're looking for this week.
Yeah, Politics is the podcast, and you can support it, because I'm just going to start saying it because nobody's been able to tell me anybody else is doing it. I am the only independent, crowd-funded person that is on this trail. Like, most of the media didn't come to Las Vegas. Even more of the media isn't going to come to South Carolina. Guess who's still humping his ass around the country?
My trip around the country.
Guys,
not paid for by billionaires.
Basically, yeah. So if you want to support that, then you can head on over to takepoliticsseriously.com, because it's the only way that I'm able to afford it. And I'm thrilled to be able to work directly for you. I don't have an editor. I don't have somebody that's telling me to go to a bunch of dumb stuff that nobody really cares about. I go where I know you guys want me to go, and where you guys tell me to go outright. So that's the pitch. TakePoliticsSeriously.com. If you're at the $3 level, you get a bonus episode on Monday, bonus episode on Thursday.
Nice. Well, it's good having you here. Glad you're doing well. Try not to get any viruses, corona or otherwise, and we'll see you next time. Bye now. All right. I mean, ain't nobody want that coronavirus.
No. I think we can all, both sides of the aisle, can agree on that.
I mean, of course, Rush Limbaugh can say it's just a common cold. He's got lung cancer. He doesn't care. Like, if he got the coronavirus, what does he care? He's got stage 4 lung cancer, which I don't wish even on Rush Limbaugh, by the way.
Exactly.
But it's easy for him to say and put other people's at risk because they believe every word comes out of his drippy, weird mouth. All right, Brian.
Yes, sir.
Even though the chat wants to know what I think all the candidates taste like, we'll save that for another day. They've got their own ideas. They've got their own ideas.
It's a good Thursday morning discussion.
I agree. But we do have, even though we're running a little long, we have enough time for yesterday's Monday mashup on a Tuesday.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, Jamie worked really hard on these. We didn't want to let it go, so we're going to play it. This is the Monday mashup on a Tuesday. It's called The Vulgar One. Here you go.
Without a face.
And
Well, shit. And by the way, really, there were 5 lights.
Yeah, it's been in
especially paper money.
Yeah.
It's got cocaine and E. coli on it.
Yeah, and G-string juice and stuff. Right? Because you go to the stripper club there and you tuck it in.
G-string juice. Oh, my God.
Never had a hairy chest, ever. Just like a dolphin, you know? But lately, just a little bit of hair right here.
I'm like what you get if a Baldwin brother has sex with Mr. Clean. The Lucifer Show.
The Lucifer Show, starring.
Called I Love Lucifer.
Now that I would watch.
No, Ricky, I'm not going to come down to the Tropicana today.
Oh, please, Lucifer. We are performing your favorite song.
Babalu.
Oh, no, we are playing your favorite song today at the Tropicana. What was his name? Nick Messy Vagini?
Nick Nespajani.
Oh, Nespajani. And I played World of Tanks of all things for a few hours.
World of Taints.
And I had, it was a lot of taints, all the taints. You can get new taints there too, and new skins for your taint.
Nice.
Yeah, you want a new skin?
Taints.
Yeah, new skin taint. It's amazing. But it really hurts. You got to pull the old skin off the taint and then apply the new skin to the new to the taint.
Scream as you do.
Collect all the taints.
Oh, Donald, what are you doing, Donald?
Donald, what you doing out in the backyard? Donald, come in the house. Pull your pants up, boy.
Go guard that pot of gold, Donald.
What are you doing? These Lucky Charms aren't going to eat themselves. Or full-on porn. Here's the porn. Right. We're not holding anything back.
Clam.
Yeah,
it's a big
look
difference.
at my clam. I think Clinton probably would not. He'd probably say, "Can I put my penis in its corpse?" Then no way. Don't stop the car.
Oh my good God, Jesus Christ! This one took a turn.
Sorry, I was just listening to a thing about Clinton today.
I don't
I'm
stop
so
for
annoyed
dogs.
with him.
Only pussy.
Wow. And I'm supposed to be the vulgar one.
It's all about political hand jobs and corpse penetration are my two.
Dog corpse penetration. Forgot that modifier.
That's perfect for Tuesday and a little jury in there.
Wow.
Yeah, that was awesome. Well done, Jamie. Nice catch on all those. Very well done.
Yes.
All right, Brian, if I was in the mood for cover songs today, where would I get some?
But Scott, it's a Tuesday. You don't get Coverville on a... Wait a minute. Yes, you will get Coverville on a Tuesday today because I have to go over to Tristan's apartment tomorrow and hang out and wait for the phone guy to come because both of the kids are going to be at work. And so I'm
look at
doing
you.
them a solid.
Nice job.
Plus, they're closer to the Arby's, so I postponed my Arby's from yesterday and said, I'm going to get Arby's on Wednesday. So that's the plan.
Nice.
So that means Coverville today, and that means 1985. Taking a trip back to 1985 when New Edition ruled the charts with Mr. Telephone Man and things like Careless Whisper by Wham featuring George Michael, or Easy Lover by Philip Bailey and Phil Collins, or The Heat Is On by Glenn Frey. You'll hear covers of maybe two of those songs on the show today.
That's great.
We're looking at the top 20. There are about 6 songs in the top 20 that I either don't have covers of or don't have any good covers of. So a lot of great stuff on here, though. Like, this was apparently the time of Beverly Hills Cop because both Neutron Dance and The Heat Is On were in the top 10.
Yeah, that sounds right. That would have been the first one. I thought that was 84, but maybe it was 85. Maybe the music was
Maybe it just bled because it is February 25th, so it just bled into 1985.
That sounds right.
Anyway, that's coming up today at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville, if you want to enjoy some 1985, a little bit of a throwback.
That's awesome.
By the way, there was one cover on the charts in 1985 by a former pop metal band's lead singer covering the Beach Boys.
Oh, I know it. Do you want me to say it?
You should know it by that last clue. Yes.
Yeah, it's Diamond Dave. It's
That's exactly what it is.
Dave. Hold on. I can't think of his name.
David. That'll help you.
David Lee Roth and
David Michael Anthony.
For some reason, I was going to say David Hasselhoff, and it wouldn't leave my brain. But David Lee Roth, formerly
David Lee Hoff,
and he was wasn't he just? He was still with Van Halen, right? But just doing solo stuff.
He was still in Van Halen doing solo stuff.
Okay.
It was way before they brought in Hagar.
But that was after. So it was after 1994 that album, and then this
1984. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in my head in '85, I remember thinking, "Oh, he left the band," but I guess he hadn't left the band yet.
No,
or they hadn't kicked him out, or
Just
whatever.
a Gigolo, and Crazy from the Heat, I believe, was the album around that time.
Bunch of half-naked ladies on the cover. I remember that. He's always in Vegas now. Greg for Walkman says that's cool. Does he have a
David
residency?
Lee Roth is, or Dave Hasselhoff? Which one is in Vegas
I don't know. But if Diamond Dave's in Vegas, I'd see whatever show that is.
Yeah,
that would be. Come on, you hear him do that.
That would be a great show.
But I'll tell you what about that whole period. The fact that you're doing this for 85. 85. I think I've said this on the show before, but all the fives are my favorite years. 85 is my favorite year in the 80s. 95 is my favorite year in the 90s, and 2015 is easily my favorite year in the
sure,
the teens,
in the world of movies, sure.
In the aughts, I don't have that feeling.
That's
2005.
I wonder.
I don't know why.
I wonder. I've never really thought about it. I know that when we did 1979 for Soundography, I was blown away by. I used to say, "Oh yeah, 1984, favorite year of music," and now I'm saying no. I think it's 1979 because there's so much great stuff that came out there. Blondie, the Talking Heads, Elvis Costello's first album, the Clash
was good. That was a great
London
year.
Calling. 1979 was amazing, and I'm now putting that at the top of my. Here's the year I'd go back to, and see every concert at CBGB's or at,
You're making
Alien came out that year.
You're making me want to go do like a playlist from 79. That sounds like a great idea. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Do it. All right, let's do a song. Oh wait, before we do, patreon.com/TMS if you want to support us. If you want to listen to a 5th episode a week, that's the only way you get it. This week is our play date, however, so you'll be able to be here for a live playing. That's on Saturday. And we're doing it right at 11. Did we say, or is it gonna be after?
Right after Film Sack. I'd say 11 is a good.
That's probably gonna be
a good time to shoot for because that gives us time to pee after Film Sack, which we all pee break.
Oh yeah, never hold your pee. Never hold your pee.
Never.
Don't hold anyone else's pee either. So that's the thing we're gonna do Saturday. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have patrons in there playing with us. We're gonna have Randy and Dunaway with us. So that'll be a blast. We can even
get maybe Tom to join us, or
maybe I'll put the word out.
Sure, I don't know any of them.
We'll take any of them, but that'll be fun. That's this week for our monthly play date, and then on Fridays for the rest of the months you get a bonus show you only get by being a patron. So patreon.com/TMS for everything else you're looking for. Emailing us, sending us voicemails, finding us on Twitter, Reddit, all that. Find it at frogpants.com/TMS. Okay, now play a song.
By the way, Rusty Nails 102 says, speaking of Film Sack, any news on the veto? Is there a veto? Is there news of a veto?
I don't know. Is there?
Was there discussion of vetoing Dracula 3000?
Oh, there is. Sorry. Dunaway yesterday brought it up on... no decision was made because we haven't talked to you guys yet, but... he had said he was having concerns given all the feedback he was getting that it was like a Sharknado style movie and that
that would concern me too. I'd say one of us just bites the bullet and watches the first 15 minutes of it to determine.
Yes, I think that's a good way to do it. So we just need to say it in the group and get everybody. Oh, look at David Lee Roth now. Wow.
Is he? So he's at the House of Blues, the HOB.
Yep. For the $700 package, you get 2 tickets.
Wow.
2 tickets and a VIP table, bottle of premium spirit at the table, foundation
I bet
room.
it's not Sammy Hagar's vodka.
No.
You're not getting any, or tequila, whatever it is, Cabo Wabo.
I think, there's a hot for teacher package, Brian.
Of course there is.
I
don't feel tardy.
Yeah, I've never paid this kind of money to see David Lee Roth.
$450. I guess that is 2 tickets. That's not an unheard of price.
No, but...
For you're paying upwards of $100 for a ticket to a headliner show in Vegas anyway. So
but the
doubling
House
that,
of
adding
Blues,
25 to
the House
include.
Of Blues, really? I don't know. This strikes me as
what's wrong with House of Blues?
They're fine. I can't.
And you go up to the Foundation Room, which is funny. Foundation Room pre and post show access. Well, I can go up to the Foundation Room anytime I want. Anyway, it's not a
lockout.
A commemorative DLR VIP show laminate. What's DLR?
David Lee Roth.
Oh, derp. I was thinking. DLR, is that like DLC, but it's for something else?
Downloadable ripping.
DLR, okay, dirt.
Yeah, downloadable Roth.
Just never heard it referred to as DLR. I'm gonna go see DLR.
Yeah,
look at his hair though.
I know, it's ridiculous. He looks that one where he's in the captain's hat and stuff.
Yeah,
that looks like Captain Steubing on a bad night to me.
It kind of does. Yeah,
I don't love it.
Yeah,
here, Chad, you can see what I'm looking at. But yeah, David Lee Roth, available now.
DLR.
Get it now. It sounds like an internet service, doesn't it? Do you have DSL cable or DLR? Oh, I'm getting DLR.
I'm bringing my camera. I think it's a DLR camera.
Yeah,
Do you have any lenses for a DLR camera?
DLR, a Canon DLR. Yeah, those are huge. We got plenty of lenses for those. Don't worry about it. All right, let's reach down. Let's reach down between our legs and pull the seat back and play a song.
Oof. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And return your tray tables to an upright position.
There you go.
Dear Scott and Brian, says Mark, I unfortunately have a sad request today. My dear friend and the Tadpool's own, at least occasionally, Curious Wicked, has passed away far too early at the age of 42. I remember Curious Wicked in the chat room. I had not heard about this.
I hadn't either. No.
Big supporter of us on Patreon for the longest time, and went from having some major health issues, which apparently he still continued to have. I know he was type 2 diabetic, and he lost a bunch of weight listening to our show and walking and jogging and stuff. Anyway, passed away at the far too early age of 42. A friend I met through World of Warcraft over a decade ago, and who quickly became one of my closest friends. He was an amazing human being, the kindest and nerdiest person I knew. We shared countless hours of online video gaming, listening to Frog Pants shows. We even went to our first Nerdtacular at Nerdtacular 17, where we got to meet many of us. I know he was a huge fan and supporter of all things Frog Pants, and I can think of no better way to honor him than requesting a song. He was a huge audiophile, loving electronic music like Vangelis, but also a huge fan of Prince, David Bowie, and so many others. So I leave it up to the Covermeister to find something he thinks is fitting in any of those categories or a blend of those categories. Thanks for being an amazing community that we could share in and be a part of. Cheers, Mark, occasionally Verendos in the chat room.
Wow, I did not know about this passing.
No, I didn't either. This is the first I heard about it, and I went back and found emails that that he had written to us, and just bummed me out because he had gotten so much stuff together over the years, having some problems early on, and listening to our shows. Damon Men was his name, and he turned stuff around and got off the alcohol or curbed it and became fit, healthy, psychologically fit. So
dang, man, that bums me out. Well, all our best to his family. This was recent then? You read, I think.
Yeah,
early.
apparently. I mean, this the request came in on yesterday or 2 days ago. So,
man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we're
Curious
happy
Wicked,
to.
this one's for you, man.
Yeah, happy to do this at the very least for you.
Absolutely. So, because he liked that electronic music, because he liked Vangelis, one of my favorite themes that Vangelis ever did was the soundtrack to Blade Runner, and a great cover of that. Also staying in that same electronic style is Oscar Seguero's cover that was part of the Lounge of Love series. 2010, this one came out, and it's just a great version of the Blade Runner theme. Here it is by Oscar Seguero.
All right, we're going to play that. We're going to be back tomorrow with more TMS. We got other stuff to do, so come on back for that. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
I ride it naked.
Yeah, you do. That's Tom Merritt for you. That's what he does.
Tom.
Yeah, you can't expect anything more out of Tom than riding it naked.